So about 2 years ago now, it's almost 2 years, guys, Daddy Kyler almost died. So it started with his gallbladder. His gallbladder, he had to have emergency surgery to get it removed. He was having a lot of sharp pain. By the time we took him to the emergency room and got into the emergency room, literally the wait time was horrible. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and he had to go immediately, once they found out what it was, immediately go into surgery. Well, after the surgery, he was in the hospital, and he just was not getting better, right? And they kept trying to discharge him. And finally, they discharged him home, but he just was not feeling better. But it's kind of expected. Like after surgery, it takes you a couple of days, but he just was not getting better. And we were like, what is happening? Like, literally, it was like 2 weeks after he went to his doctor, and he could barely walk. He was not eating. He was losing a bunch of weight. The doctor made it seem like it was nothing. Kyler tried to tell the doctor everything. The doctor didn't pay attention to nothing. Sends him back home. And literally, when I tell you that he could not walk. And so that night, he started feeling worse and worse and worse. We went back to the emergency room. Well, it turns out to be that basically what ended up happening is that doctor nipped Kyler's bile duct, something like that. Nicked it, and all of that was going into Kyler and was basically kind of poisoning him. But they were not taking him seriously. Even at the emergency room, they kept trying to discharge him. They're like, oh, it's just gallbladder surgery. Like, everyone kept trying to dismiss it. The doctor, the people at the hospital, and we're like, what is going on? Right? And we're like, no, like, you need to do more tests. Like, we need to figure this out. That's when they found out it was the bile duct. And it was just a lot with that freaking hospital. So they ended up having to do another surgery, and that was even worse of a headache. It just, one surgery, the gallbladder, ended up going to 4 different surgeries, if I'm not mistaken, and literally almost a year of complications, and literally almost a year and a half for Kyler to feel better. So during this time that we were going back and forth to the doctor, all these surgeries, Kyler was withering away. Y'all know Kyler had already lost weight. He had really been focused, but he was withering away. And it was so stressful because we didn't know what to do. We didn't know what was happening. Allegedly, these surgeries were going to fix it. It wouldn't fix it. He was still sick. And it was just so much. It was so much, I will tell you, to have to deal with Kyler being sick, the kids working, social media. It was a lot. Thank God that Nana Elvia, Kyler's grandma, came. She stayed with us for a couple of months and really helped us. And that's what helped me keep my sanity. But I didn't tell y'all any of this when we were going through it on social media, guys, because I didn't want to talk about it. I was already stressed, and social media is like an outlet for me. And I didn't want to come online and then people ask me questions that I didn't even know. I'm scared. It was a lot. And Kyler didn't want to talk about it at the time. And honestly, I thought we were going to sue the lady for malpractice. And unfortunately, in the state of Texas, it's very hard to sue. We looked into it after all of this, and it's very, very hard. But it was horrible. It got to a point where we ended up just, he was at the hospital, and we're like, we do not want this doctor to operate on Kyler anymore. They transferred us to the Dallas hospital, and a new doctor came in. I told her everything. They were very kind, and a new doctor ended up operating on Kyler. It was a lot, guys. They even had to meet to decide what was the plan for Kyler. But during this whole time, guys, Kyler literally was bedridden. And when I say bedridden, like for the 90% of his day, he would walk assisted from the couch to the bed or to the table or something. He couldn't pick up any of the kids. He couldn't do anything at all. And literally withering away, like losing. He lost so much weight. I think he lost like 20-30 pounds in a short amount of time. It got so bad, guys. I remember Cindy came to the house one day, and I saw her face, and we walked out. She said hi to Kyler, whatever. When she walked out, she's like, Jay, this is crazy. And I was like, I know. And so, we talked about it and stuff. So obviously my besties, our families knew, but nobody else knew. And it was so hard, guys. It was so hard. And I remember, like, I would be so tired at the end of the night, and then I would get into bed, and Kyler's like, I've been planning my funeral. And I'm like, I don't think I have the capacity for this right now, Kyler. Like, you're not going to die. I refuse to even put that into the universe. I refuse to talk about it. It's not going to happen. You will get better. We will get through this. I'm like, but please stop telling me these things because I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I want to talk to you, but I don't want to talk about this because this is going to stress me out even more. And I'm already stress eating as it is. I don't need any more. And it was just a lot, guys. It was some crazy, I would say about 9 months of uncertainty, just not wondering. I remember Paige, she hadn't seen Kyler in a long time, and I sent her a picture, and she was shocked as well. And I was like, Paige, this is Kyler now on the mend. This is not Kyler at his worst. And literally the way that I describe how Kyler was in the bed at the worst is, if you remember Bella on the Wolf movie, what is it called? The Vampires. Oh my God. Bella Loca. Anyways, y'all know what I'm talking about when she gets bitten by Edward? And what is the name of that movie? And she's laying in bed and she's like all bones and stuff. That's how Kyler was. Kyler, it was wild, guys. And honestly, the kids couldn't even be in the room, or we'd have to keep him far away because he was so brittle that we were afraid that they were going to jump on him and stuff. It was a horrible time. Without Nana Elvia, I would not have been able to survive, guys. It was a lot. And then to still film and do my normal stuff, I just kept saying, Kyler's sick. We didn't want to talk about it because if we were going to sue, we just wanted to make sure, we kind of had everything in order. And so I just said, Kyler's sick. And people were gone speculating, and they're like, Kyler was not in the Halloween picture. What's happening? He's supposed to be. He's a part of this family. He's supposed to be. He was supposed to be Abuelita. We were in Canto that year, but he couldn't. He couldn't walk. He would get tired. From my room to the living room, from my room to the kitchen, like it was wild. I'll tell you that's how serious choosing the right doctor can really make it or break it. That lady nicked his bile duct, and let me tell you, she has done that to other people. I know specifically a family, and she did the exact same thing to that family, and the exact same thing pretty much happened to that person. I mean, to tell you, it is wild, beyond belief. That lady should not be having surgery, because I'm not sure what the cause is, or what is the reason. Like, is she not focused? Is she... I'm not sure what the reason is, guys. But it was absolutely horrible time in our lives. But I will tell you that after Kyler got the last surgery with that new doctor, he started to get better. He was able to start gaining weight. He started getting muscle, and just started feeling healthier. But I can tell you that till this day, sometimes Kyler has had complications because of that initial gallbladder surgery removal. And I think it's so wild. And that's why I tell people, your life can change in an instant. One little family thing, one little natural disaster, one gallbladder can change your life. And it was crazy, guys. Kyler was not working literally almost that whole year. It was only me with my income, social media, paying the bills, stressed, trying to keep everything alive, keeping face. But I was like, we're going to get through it. We're here for the long haul, not for the short haul, through sickness and health, for better, for worse type vibes. That's how we are. But it was a lot. And this is why I also tell you is that I didn't want to share it with y'all, because I didn't want to talk about it in the moment. I was too stressed. It was too much anxiety. And obviously because we were planning to sue, right? But this is why I tell you guys that you never know what someone's going through. People thought that I was having the best of time. We were still doing some sort of events, still taking the kids to school, still doing the kids stuff. And so people would think that life was normal. Obviously, I went trick-or-treating because I have 5 children. They want to go trick-or-treating. Kyler wanted us to go do these things and not just have the kids at home, right? And Nana Elvia was amazing. Like, we were there. She would help us. She would go with us, or, whatever. But people would think, like, you would go back to those videos and be like, oh, you would never know that I was having conversations with Kyler about him potentially passing away, and what his funeral would look like, or what my life would look like without him. Like, it was a crazy time, guys. And I tell you that I stress ate, and it was a lot. Even financially, I'll tell you, it was a lot, because we have our regular bills. We had 2 houses, and then at the time the Lubbock house was getting rented. So when you have rental properties, you have to pay that mortgage, and so it was everything all at once. And I was like, oh my goodness! But I was like, we're gonna make it through. We will provide. We will be fine. We got in a little bit into debt and stuff, but I was like, it's okay. We didn't have debt before this. We will have debt now, but we will come back and we will pay that off, and then we'll, have no debt. And so once Kyler started feeling better, he went back to work. I was still working. I was still doing social media, and I said, all right, you're feeling a little bit better. Your health is on the mend. Now let's focus on paying this debt because we got into a hairy situation. And again, you just never know what people are going through. No one would ever know that I was playing like chess with the bills. Like, what am I going to pay? Okay, what are we going to do? Like, how, am I going to have to use some credit cards? Like, what am I going to do? Credit card for gas, credit card for groceries. Like, it was just a hard time, guys. It was a hard time. It was a lot. But we tried to keep face for the children. We tried to keep face just to be positive. And then on social media, we didn't talk about it because Kyler didn't want me to talk about it. He's okay with it now. 2, we thought that we were going to sue, and so we didn't want to do that either. And so I would just say Kyler is unwell, and yeah, that's all I would say. And but it was a lot. But I will say it and say it again. You just never know what's happening in people's lives, in people's homes, in people's minds. And so you should always extend kindness, try to smile to somebody, pay people compliments, and just try to be good. So that way that comes back to you, and for us to keep it going. But praise the Lord, guys. Obviously, we're 2 years clear from that. And Kyler is good. His health is good. Sometimes he has complications like with his tummy and stuff because of the gallbladder, but for the most part he's good. We're happy, and the health scare is behind us, and now we can just focus on the future, right? But life is short, so you have to cherish each day, take it day by day. And when you're confronted with a crazy hard situation, just say, I will make it through. Build a plan, execute, and say, okay, what can I do? Today, maybe I just need to survive, and I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to clean. I'm not going to do nothing. I'm just going to survive, and I'm going to go through the day with a positive attitude. Or today, I'm just going to cry all day. I'm just going to cry all day. Tomorrow, I'll be positive. Today, I'm just going to cry. Or I'll cry when the kids go to bed, or I'll cry in the shower. But have some sort of plan on how you can make baby steps. As long as you don't go backwards and you continue to move forward, you will make it through, right? And so, yes. But now y'all know. So be careful with the doctors that you choose, the doctors that you go. Obviously, when you go to the emergency room, whatever doctor's there is the doctor that treats you. But just be careful and ask a lot of questions. And yeah, because life is too short. So make sure that you enjoy every minute of it. Okay.